Regarding transgenderism, how much do you know about the rules of high school sports? In the state of Connecticut, there are no rules. This inspired backlash against the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference after two biological boys took the top two spots at a qualifying meet. This resulted in multiple petitions and outrage among athletes and parents alike. Athletes Terry Miller and Andrea Yearwood dominated the competition at the girls' track and field championships in Connecticut last year, coming in first and second place respectively. While it was a state race, their wins are making national headlines, not because of what they did, but because of who they are, two transgender athletes. Andrea Yearwood is a junior at Cromwell High School in Connecticut who competes in the 100 and 200 meter dash. Yearwood's parents say that track is 100th on the list of concerns they have as the parents of a transgender girl. Yearwood first came out as transgender in a text and began racing against girls the summer before freshman year. Terry Miller is an athlete at Bloomfield High School, also in Connecticut. Miller says that criticism was expected, but that together with Yearwood they try not to let the complaints get to them. Bianca Stanescu, the mother of another athlete, Selena Sewell, started a petition last April to stop the transgender athletes from competing against the girls. Stanescu says that Yearwood and Miller have an unfair advantage due to their natural levels of testosterone. Dr. Ron Haggerty, a general practitioner, revealed that hormone therapy does not change the genetic makeup of a male body or make them perform at the same level as a female athlete.
When it comes to athletics, there are many differences between men and women, males and females. Males have larger veins and muscles. They have different fat deposition. Females have more evenly distributed blood flow. When you look at the thousands of genes just involved in the liver, it affects how energy and drugs and medications and anything you put in your body is metabolized. And it's distinctly different between males and females, regardless of what type of hormones they might be taking. In addition, the female blood actually has fewer red blood cells in the blood volume than males, making males' blood more efficient and oxygen more readily available for muscle activity, etc. So giving a male athlete female hormones can certainly make them feel more like a female. It can make the fat distribute differently. It can even make them develop breast tissue. But does not change the fundamental difference that makes a male stronger and faster and gives them a distinct advantage over their female counterparts in athletics.
Sewell talked about the unfairness of the situation in an interview with The Stream.
When I'm at the start of the race, when I'm lining up and getting into my blocks, everyone already knows the outcome. Those two athletes are going to come 1 and 2, and everyone knows it. No one thinks it's fair because we all know that males are physically stronger than females and they compete at a higher level.
Over 150,000 teens in the United States identify as transgender. The NCAA policy on transgender student-athlete participation reads that a female-to-male athlete may compete on the men's teams as long as they are receiving testosterone supplements, but may not compete on a women's team without changing that team status to mixed. A male-to-female student being treated with testosterone suppression medication may not compete on a women's team without changing it to a mixed team status until completing 1 year of treatment. In 7 states, high school students must be on the team that matches their birth certificate or have undergone hormone therapy. In the Olympics, transgender athletes cannot compete without having undergone surgery. Two standout Walsingham athletes, Leja Hamrick and Claire Kinney, weighed in on this debate. Both are school record holders. How long have you been on the track team?
I've been on the team for 7 years.
I've been on the team for 3 years.
What events do you compete in?
I compete in pole vault, shot put, discus, the 4x8, 800, and 4x4.
I compete in the 100, 200, and 400.
What do you know about the rules for transgender athletes in high school?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
How would you feel if you had to compete against someone with a biological advantage?
I'd be upset.
Yeah, I'd be pretty angry.
Much of the concern surrounding this situation is how gender dysphoria is appearing more frequently in sports and the media. Gender dysphoria is the condition of feeling one's emotional and psychological identity as male or female to be opposite to one's biological sex. Sex and gender are two different things. Gender is defined as either of the two sexes when considered with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones, as sex is purely biological. Dr. Haggerty further defines dysphoria and clears up the difference between sex and gender. What is it that determines whether someone is male or female, and can you explain gender dysphoria?
Male and female sex is determined by the 23rd pair of chromosomes, specifically whether or not a person has or receives the Y chromosome from their father. The Y chromosome then directs the development of thousands of genes which are specific to males. Gender, on the other hand, is more cultural or social. It typically describes masculinity or femininity. Gender dysmorphia is a psychiatric condition which involves a conflict between a person's physical gender and that with which they identify. They tend to be uncomfortable with their body and the specific roles of their gender.
Andrea Yearwood and Terry Miller both began hormone treatment in late 2018 and have been competing during the 2019 track season. After looking at their times, many people speculate that one of the reasons they fight so hard to run with the girls is because their times are below average. At the Bloomfield Invitational in April, the last scoring place for the boys' 100-meter dash was 11.9. Miller ran a 12.05 and Yearwood ran a 12.7. They placed first and third. So although they may identify as girls, hormones will never stop them from performing better in athletics, and they will never stop facing criticism for their biological advantage.
Let's just play devil's advocate for a moment and just imagine that you were both born girls, and then all of a sudden you had two boys who identified as being girls, and they said, hey, we're going to be on your team, and maybe now you're not performing as well because they are better.
I'm not going to discourage you or try to say, oh, it's not fair, and it would just push me to run faster.
I'd be happy for them because they get to do what they want. They're happy, so then that should in turn make me happy.
And they're brave. They're just different from everybody.